pleasure of hearing from Mr. Shagan K. Collins today. He is a visionary educator, entrepreneur, and advocate for holistic growth. As the founder of Uncommon Academy, he is dedicated to creating transformative learning experiences that empower children and communities. His journey is one of resilience, innovation, and purpose, shaped by his deep commitment to education, personal development, and social impact. With a background in education, technology, self improvement, and financial literacy, Shagan K. Collins believes in equipping the next generation with the tools to think critically, dream boldly, and take action. He has made it his mission to redefine education by merging traditional learning with real world application, ensuring that young minds are not only informed but also inspired to create change. Beyond the classroom, Mr. Collins is the force behind Holistic Hustle, a platform that promotes wellness, discipline, and self improvement. His work embodies the essence of Black excellence, overcoming obstacles, building legacies, and leading with purpose. And so for today, Mr. Collins will bring a message of empowerment, reminding us that history is not just something we remember, it's something we create. The future belongs to those who are willing to learn, hustle, and lead. So without further ado, Mr. Shagan K. Collins.
All right, so some of the stuff that was mentioned, everything she said is correct. But there's a couple more things that I do for a living that is kind of influencing today. All right, so I am also an educator. I've taught at the high school level, all the way down, all the way up to the college level, which is what I currently do now. I'm a math professor. All right, so I'm going to introduce y'all to the way I introduce my class. So some of y'all have experienced it when you came in. All right, so we be lit. So I've spoken to a couple of younger students in grade school. One school, what was it? I want to say it was Denison I went to. They was lit. So we gonna see if y'all can match them, okay? All right, so it's this thing that I do when I do any speaking. I come in and it helps me, but it helps you too get comfortable. So when I say yo, y'all gonna say it back, all right? Y'all can't talk? When I say yo, y'all gonna say it back, all right? Yo. 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 All right, y'all sound good. We're gonna do that again. All right, so I have a presentation today, and I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for what I saw when I came in the parking lot. You guys garden, right? I see you garden out there. So everybody knows what this is, right? This is a seed, right? So today, we're gonna talk about education and the importance of the seed. All right, so when it comes to gardening, how many of you actually garden? Because just because it's a garden out there don't mean y'all do it. All right, how many people? Hands up, let me see, high. All right, so give me some of the components of gardening. What happens, what do we need? You can just yell out. Water, what else? You can yell it out. Healthy soil. All right, what else? Sunlight, what else? Nutrients, all right? So now we're gonna talk about all those components and how they relate to education, okay? So today I brought a couple of ingredients in my bag. Because when Ms. Jasmine called, I was in the midst of what she referred to in my journey. All right, so I've been through a lot. I'm from the east side of Bartow. Anybody know about that? I grew up in the projects. All right, I wasn't expected. My mom dropped out of high school. My dad went off to trade school. So I wasn't expected to do what I do. So it's through a lot of hard work. And it's through a lot of hustling, in the good way. But from that, I experienced gardening. Right? My grandmother did it, but I didn't know why. It was just something she did. But now I truly understand what it is to garden. So when she asked me to speak for you guys, one, I accepted it with an honor because you guys are in a vital stage right now. And this stage is a stage where you can be anything. You have no restraints. You have no responsibilities for real. You clean the dishes, clean your room. That's basic. Wait, you got to pay bills. All right, that's different. So at this stage, I'm sitting in the back. Can y'all hear me fine? Can y'all hear me back there? Yes? Okay. So I'm sitting in my garden, and I'm like, how can I relate the importance of education to what I currently do? And so that's where the seed comes from. So we're going to break down each one of these according to what you say and how it relates to education. So the seed is your education, right? It needs a lot of nutrients, but is it just a seed? Or is it just a shell that holds the potential to save lives, to provide shelter, to provide shade, to provide a home, right? Is this little seed contain all of that, right? That's what you all have inside of you as well. But it takes certain components, certain ingredients to make this grow. And we're going to break this down, okay? Because I teach math, so I have to break this down for everybody. And we're going to take this down, okay? All right, so the first thing you said we need is what? Soil. Soil, right? This is soil from my land, right? My land is sacred. My grandmother is Native American. The property that I live on has been in my family for over 100 years. We grow fruit, we grow food, right? So that's the importance. So this is the land, this is the foundation, right? The foundation is a mixture of what? Somebody give me one question, give me one answer. What is the foundation? Nutrients. It's the nutrients. And when we talk about education, the nutrients is what? Education. What is it? What is it? Where does that nutrients come from? So we know, and that takes us to the next step. That takes us to compost. On your paper, on that paper you have, I want you to write your dreams on that paper. And I'm not talking about the dream you think I want to hear. I'm talking about the dream you're afraid to tell everybody because they may say it's weird. They may say you're weird. That's the true dream. I need you to write that on that paper. While you're writing that, I need y'all to listen because I only got 15 minutes. All right, so the reason I'm going to do that, I'll tell you once you write it. This is not, it's optional. It's optional. You don't have to do it if you don't feel like it, but it's going to mean something in the end. All right, so let's get back to the foundation and the soil. So then we have the papers that you have. When we mix together certain ingredients that we throw out, right? What is that called? We can put it back in the soil. What is it called? Starts with a C. Compost. Compost. Check that out for your mind, all right? So that's what's in here. This is a mixture of compost, all right? Now, next, we have what we call perlite. Does anybody know what perlite is and what it does? No? Perlite is a natural substance, and it's poured into soil to separate the soil. It separates so that what? The water can travel through, and so that the roots can dig through it as well, to get as deep as they can so that they can root in order to be the structure that holds the tree in. Does everybody agree with that? Everybody with me on that? All right, so this is perlite. And this represents challenges that leads to resilience, right? Because if we don't put this in the dirt will be too tight for the roots to move through it, and it'll eventually kill the seed. But through the challenges, which is the tightness of the dirt, we have resilience that provides space. It provides space for the roots to travel and for the water to travel through. So we're going to take this and we're going to put this in the dirt. Next, we have wood ash. All right, what is wood ash? What does wood ash do in the soil? It's also a form of nutrients. But what does it come from? Why is it important? This is the wisdom, right? Because trees last for a long time, right? Longer than we will ever live. This is the wisdom from our ancestors. This is the wisdom from your parents. This is the wisdom from your peers. All right, from the old people. That's what we call it. We're going to put this in there as well. All right, so can I have one volunteer? My man that I talked to today, where he at? Back there. Can I get him? Young man, come here for me. Come here for me. Listen, look at me. I need you to talk to me after, all right? So hold this for me. All right, so what he's going to do, he's going to walk around and he's going to pick up that paper. If you wrote on it, put it in there. If you didn't, don't. Or you can put it in there. Put it in there too. All right, walk around for me, pick up them papers. All right, as he's putting that in there, we're going to break that down. Why did I make you write on the paper? Because the paper can become compost. Over time, that paper will break down and it will feed the roots. So why am I making you do it? Because we're going to use all of your dreams. Right? I said my grandmother is Native American. So she plants a tree for every generation. And that tree, because it's planted with intention, everything you have to do has to be planted with intention. That tree represents the abundance of the generation. And so today, you guys are going to merge your abundance, your dreams, and you're going to feed this tree. As this tree grows and it begins to produce fruit, it will be a representation of each one of you that put that paper in there. And it will represent every dream that you can reach. As long as you continue to hold a couple of different tools that I'm going to provide you today. All right, so what I'm going to do is at first, which you guys kind of messed that plan up, but that was a good thing. I'm going to take on the burden of continuing to provide constant sunlight and water. That was the plan, because that's what my grandmother did for me. And that's the path that I'm on. But I see you guys got a garden. So this plant is going to be here for you guys to watch it grow. It's going to be, I'm challenging you guys to nurture it, to care for it. The more you do it, this is a moringa tree. All right, look up what moringa is and what it does. All right, it's part of the tree of life family. It can save lives. So you guys will be growing a medicine here where it can be broken down and turned into teas. It can be turned into tinctures. It can be turned into ointments, depending on whatever your imagination can take you. So I'm going to plant this once he brings this to me. And this will be my dedication to y'all. So as I wrap this up, there's a couple of things that I want to leave you with. The first is called a call to action. All right, it means, what do I want you to do? Why am I here? Why am I talking to you? All right, and I have two of them. The one is, we know that seeds don't grow overnight. I hope you know that. It takes time, it takes care, it takes a hustle, it takes hard work, because you won't see that seed working when it's actually doing the most work. Thank you. Hold on, do one more thing for me. Tear all these up. Tear all of them up for me, all right? Like small pieces. Okay. All right, so what was I? My call to action. You have to keep these things in mind as you grow and as you progress through life. To stay curious. Keep letting your mind wander. But don't just let it wander. Some things you got to chase it. All right, that's one. Two is to stay consistent. Consistency is key. As long as you keep doing it, you'll get better and it'll get easier. Pay attention sometimes. When you first start that math problem, it's hard. But the longer you put in, the more practice you put in to get easy, and then you start teaching other people, and you start telling them that it was easy. Right? Does that make sense? It should. It will. And never stop learning, because knowledge is the key to life. When you stop learning, this is how I tell my college students, when you stop learning, you die, because there's nothing else to work for. Right? So keep learning, keep growing. And I leave some challenges with y'all. And that's questions to reflect on. Critical thinking. How will you take care of your seed? How will you take care of it? How will you grow your own education? Because it's all connected in here, whether you see it now or not. My second one It's how will you nurture your education to grow into something great, something that can benefit others, something that can shelter, something that can heal, something that can continue to grow long after you're gone. Your education will stay. Because there's one thing in this world that can be, everything can be taken, but the only thing that can is your education. But that's the best gift that you can give to yourself. And the last quote that I want to leave is your education is your legacy. Plant it, nurture it, and don't ever, ever let it stop growing. Thank you.